Linn Grant has become the first female golfer to win an event on the European Tour after winning the Scandinavian Mixed.
She did it in fine style too, obliterating the field with a 9-stroke victory. Grant had won twice on the Ladies European Tour this year and cruised to victory in Sweden with a bogey-free round of 64 on home soil. She ended the week on 24 under, 9 ahead of Mark Warren and Henrik Stenson, and 14 shots better than the nearest female challenger, Gabriella Cowley.
Just hope that people recognise women's golf, more sponsors go to LET than to the men's tour, and just hopefully this pumps up the women's game a little bit more.
It's got to. I mean, it's probably global news now. It's never been done before. There's a huge interest in the topic of golf at the moment. I know for a fact, walking around the golf course yesterday, I've never seen so many juniors, young women and families just out on the golf course watching and supporting their local prodigy, really. The intimidating factor of competing against men is massive, and she just dealt with that so professionally at such a young age. It's definitely elevated the platform of women's golf and got more eyeballs into the game.
Let's get more reaction to this historic moment now. We can speak to Trish Johnson, who's waiting for us. Trish, lovely to see you. Thanks for joining us. Just what an incredible performance from Grant. How impressed were you watching it?
Incredibly impressed. I don't normally sit down and watch much golf if I'm not playing in the tournament. I might watch the end of the odd event. But yesterday I made sure I was there from the beginning to the end. And I mean, I thought she'd have some nerves. She didn't appear to show any nerves whatsoever. And she totally annihilated the field. I just don't have enough words to say how impressed I was with her. It's obviously, playing this sort of tournament is so difficult to set up to make it sort of fair, if you like, for the men against the women. They did a great job. They made the ladies' course pretty short, but the men's was fairly short as well for them. But what she did yesterday, she still had to take the driver out. And to make the golf course short, she had to hit a driver 100% every hole. And she just took it to them. She birdied the first 2 holes, 5 of the first 6. And it was game, set and match. So I was just, blown away really by the level of performance in that sort of environment as well. Not easy on your home sort of soil, desperate to win your home championship. Henrik Stenson, was the main sort of protagonist, if you like, coming down the last 9 holes. Huge crowds, which there always is in Sweden. And she just appeared, even her interview afterwards was just very cool, calm and collected. And I loved every second of it. I really did. It's so great to see almost a new breed, if you like, of women players on the LET that are just hugely long hitters, athletes, just fearless, totally fearless. And to beat the men by 9 shots, I mean, seriously, when you actually think about how good that is, because the nearest woman competitor was Gabs Cowley, and she was 10 shots back, I think. 10 under. No, sorry, 14 shots back. I mean, that's extraordinary, really.
Trish, Grant said in some of her interviews that her biggest motivation was actually beating the men. She said she hopes that this will pump up the women's game. What do you think? Will it?
Well, to be honest, we've been through these stages, winning Solheim Cups, doing this, doing that. I think the greatest thing that happened yesterday were massive crowds out there. Now, the Swedes are very knowledgeable, and they've had, numerous world number ones, Annika Sorensson, Lotta Neumann, Helen Alfredsson, Sophie Gustafsson. They know a great player when they see one. But for all the men out there to be watching, seeing a woman obliterate the men, regardless of length of golf course, I think that's what you need. And when she says, you need sponsors to go to the women's tour rather than the men's tour, most of those sponsors, predominantly, let's be honest, will be sort of male orientated. And I think that was the main thing for me, to see so many there'll be so many male golfers out there that think, oh, women, they've got nice swings, they do it. No, top-notch golfers. That's the gist of it. And I think that's the biggest thing, to see, corporate sponsorship now. Look at that yesterday and think, do you know what? Hey, we might want to get involved in the women's game, because that was superlative golf yesterday. it's no gender required. It was just superlative golf.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you think that such a landmark victory like that helps to strengthen a case for equal prize money in the future?
Well, I think you've got to start somewhere. To suddenly say equal prize money, I think is, possibly a little bit extreme. But I think what it does prove is that the women aren't playing for anywhere near enough what their quality requires. That's the gist of it. And I think that's the thing that's got to, we saw with the Women's US Open this year, the prize money go from 5 million to 10 million. That's a massive, massive step. And all the major tournaments are upping their prize fund tremendously. Now what we've got to try and do is get the lower end of the European Tour events to up their prize fund to a minimum sort of 500,000-600,000. That should sort of be the minimum we're playing for. And when you see the level of capability of the players, that's what they deserve at the very least. And I know our tour are working tremendously hard with that. What they have to have is the leverage for that to happen. And if that didn't do it yesterday, then I don't know what proof you need.
Well said, Trish. Lovely to get your thoughts. Thanks for coming on the show. We'll speak to you soon.
Thank you.